What's up, Melanated family? This is your boy Harrison Man, bringing you another video, keeping you up to date with the news going on in our community. So check it out. I'm sure, well, first, please hit the like button, subscribe to the Melanated Fathers TV YouTube family. You feel me? Do that ASAP. Share this video as well. So, most of us, especially in our community, the black community specifically, most of us are fans of R. Kelly, and we've been following everything that's been going on with the documentary coming out and, us hearing about his behavior for years. So the brother has actually been found guilty of racketeering, sex trafficking by a federal judge in New York, right? So he was found guilty of racketeering, including acts of bribery and sexual exploitation of a child, along with separate charges of sex trafficking. Now, in this federal case in the Eastern District of New York, Kelly faces a total of 9 counts. 1 count of racketeering with 14 underlining acts that included sexual exploitation of a child, kidnapping, bribery, and sex trafficking charges, and also 8 additional counts of violations of the Mann Act, a sex trafficking law. And the Mann Act, just to give y'all a quick history lesson, the Mann Act was instituted in the early 1900s when Jack Johnson, a black boxer, the first black heavyweight, if I'm not mistaken, shit like Mike Tyson and Floyd, before Mike Tyson and Floyd, you feel me? Because the media attacked him. He would go across state lines with white women. So he used to wear minks and drive fly-ass cars and shit, you know what I mean? So he used to get on their nerves, and he used to get in the ring and knock white boys the fuck out. So he became a target, and this Mann Act was created based on his actions in the early 1900s. But anyways, Kelly was found guilty of 9 counts, 1 count of racketeering, and 8 counts of violating the Mann Act. Of the 14 underlining acts for the racketeering count, he needed to be found guilty of at least 2 to be convicted in that court. To be convicted of that count. Jurors found prosecutors had proven all but 2 of the 14 underlining racketeering acts, right? So he's going to be sentenced May 4th, I think it is. I think he's going to get a lot of time. Well, all of these counts, as most people know, I mean, when they have all these counts, sometimes you can take a deal for something much smaller, but these are very serious counts nonetheless. I think the brother's going to end up doing between like 15 and 30 years in jail, you know what I mean? But this has been like a very interesting thing, just watching how all the different opinions about R. Kelly and his circumstances, right? Because I have like a pretty unpopular opinion about everything that has been going down with him, right? So first off, I'm not gonna stop listening to his music. To me, R. Kelly, in my generation, he's the best R&B singer, the most impactful R&B singer that I've probably heard, that I've probably listened to in my life. I'm not gonna throw away his art because of his egregious acts, you know what I mean? When it comes to everything that he's done, in my opinion, I'm not one of these people that think he's innocent by no stretch of the imagination, but I think there's layers to it, right? So from the things I've read, I didn't really watch the documentary. I thought it was kind of like, So some of that kind of felt like propaganda, just the timing of everything and how the powers that be knew he was doing these things years ago, but now they're just getting them. So whatever. I didn't really fuck with the documentary that much, but I layer everything out. Like I try to keep it in perspective from my opinion, right? Because having sex with from what I've seen, it's 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old girls, right? So obviously something's wrong with you mentally if you're a grown man who thinks it's okay to have sex with women that age. So if a man that age gets caught, or a man in his 20s or 30s has sex with a teenager, it's against the law in our country. Even though, whatever I say it, just to keep it real, y'all. And there are pieces of the world where the consensual the age for sex for women changes and it gets lower. You know what I mean? So that's something to think about. But in our country, nonetheless, it's illegal to have sex with a woman under 18, right? So here's the thing. If a man does that, to me, it depends on how he does it. Now, raping a young girl you should be thrown under the jail from that. Physically taking sex from a young girl, you should be thrown under the jail from that. From what I'm reading, R. Kelly would do things like lock girls in the room, like not physically allowing them to leave. This is a harsh crime too, right? You should be jailed for that. Like, no goddamn doubt. Actually, regardless of the age of the woman. If you lock a woman in the room behind her will and she can't go nowhere and you fucking all on her, something should happen to you. Like, you should go to jail for that, right? Now, if you have, to me, it's more layered than that, right? Because if you have sex with a teenager, I personally think, unless you kidnap the teenager and her parents and her family was looking for her and they couldn't find her and they was with you, you should take the full blame. Because what nobody's talking about, some of these young women was ushered into R. Kelly's care by parents. If you have an 18, 17-year-old girl who isn't coming home, and any parent who knew that they were with R. Kelly and didn't immediately call the cops or immediately get a man in their life to go over there and get that goddamn girl. This nigga ain't Superman. You go over there with some people and some straps, you get the goddamn shit done. If it's really that serious, call the cops, bring the cops over there, tell them she's in there. You know what I mean? But if any of these parents willingly allowed their daughters to go with R. Kelly under any circumstances, they should go to jail too. So that's the only caveat I have for this situation. If there's an underage girl that have sex with this grown man, if any parent was aware, because if you're aware and you take action and you file charges and you report her missing, this is all the things you can do as a parent besides going over there and having somebody whip his ass. You know what I mean? But for any of the parents that knowingly, hence the word knowingly, any parents who knowingly allowed their children to go with R. Kelly after knowing what he did with Aaliyah, after hearing all the rumors, I wouldn't let my 16, 17-year-old daughter get a record deal from R. Kelly. No fucking way. That nigga gotta come to my house, in my studio, or I gotta go post up and watch, right? So, yes, he should be held responsible for everything that he did. Some of the racketeering charges, I mean, some of this shit make him seem like he in the mafia here. I mean, you know, dealing with America, once you're inside of their system, you're inside of their system, so they can just fuck you if they want to, but the brother should be held accountable. You know what I mean? For doing everything that he's been doing for all these years. But if parents willingly allowed any of this to happen for the minors, the parents should get jail time too. It should go both ways. You know what I mean? So hopefully, you know, I'm a fan of the brother. I think he's a brilliant musician that's severely troubled. You know what I mean? That's severely troubled, and I personally think that he needs the large bulk of his time, this is just my opinion, for forcing any woman to do something beyond her will. That is where the bulk of the time should come from. Having sex with a minor who willingly had sex with you, that's a manipulative act. It just don't sit well with me. Like, why would a grown man be attracted to a 16, 17-year-old? You know what I mean? So obviously something's wrong with the brother. So he would need some type of mental evaluation. He needs help in that manner, along with some jail time for his acts, because he lives in a country where the shit is illegal. You know what I mean? So what do y'all think? Do y'all think R. Kelly should get life in jail? Do you think, after watching all the documentaries and shit, that everything he's getting, he should be getting? Should we not listen to his music anymore? Let's talk about it, family. This is your boy Harrison, man. Melanated Fathers TV. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video. I'm out.